Good afternoon to all traders. Welcome to today's live stream. We'll begin in a moment. So please confirm if the audio is clear in the video. If you can see properly, just confirm once in chat box. Okay, thank you for confirming. So let's begin without any delays. So those of you are new here, please note down. You can use all the tools and the screens that we are discussing here at web.strike.money. So let's start with uh, today's market view. I'll I'll take your queries at the end, so please stay tuned. So today it's a weekly expiry on the Nifty. So as you can see, highest OI call wise we can see at 20,100, and there is significant put OI at 20,000 and followed by 20,050. So this probably seems to be the range for today, unless there is significant action on either side. Right now, the current spot levels are 20,065, and total call OI is higher than total put OI for today's expiry. So the action is sideways to down for now. Let's see how it shapes out in rest of the session. Talking about Bank Nifty, it is also trading mostly flat. Let's check out Bank Nifty OI for the next expiry. So highest OI is at 46,000 call OI, and even put OI is slowly adding up on 46,000 strike. So if it is able to sustain above this level, further upside can continue. However, it seems to be a clear resistance. So talking about the bread today seems to be good, with around 344 stocks up in the Nifty 500, and in the FNO segment, about 77 stocks are showing long buildup and 57 are showing short buildup, while the rest of them are showing short covering and very few are showing long and high. So action is mostly mixed. If we look at the sector performance in terms of heat map, then you can see basically the high beta sectors which are at top: metals, PSU banks, reality, followed by micro cap, small cap, mid cap. So small cap and mid caps are showing good recovery because they have had a huge sell off the day before yesterday. But PSU banks and reality have already been coming up one or the other day. But metal index is a name we have not seen at the top since quite a few days. So that seems that metal index is also catching up. So let's see what is up the most within metals. NMDC, Hindalco, Genesis all are up, and the NMDC seems to be the leader in terms of FNO stocks. So I'll jump to the charts once we have a look at the FIDI data as well as some market data in detail. So no real change in terms of the cash market data. They are still selling daily. In terms of derivatives, now this is surprising. In the derivative part, they look bullish because they added 14,000 long positions, 14,000 contracts in the index futures. They sold calls and they sold puts, but the number of puts sold is significantly higher than number of calls sold. So net that is also bullish. So if we look at the position now, it has inched up to the first orange line, that is the 60,000 contracts, and the next one is at 90,000 contracts. So very mildly bullish number we have reached, but not yet extremely overbought. So that we need to keep a continuous eye on such data. We can also look at the percentage long, which last time topped at around 73 to 74. I think, yeah, 72 to 73, and as of yesterday, the number is at 66.38. So there is still some room in terms of sentiment from the FIs getting overly bullish. So we'll keep watching that. In terms of the momentum swing, I've highlighted that during day before yesterday when the stocks fell, the swing got to 26 in a single day, and from there on we have seen it coming back up to 32 yesterday, and the live value as of now is 47. So we're seeing some rebound in the swing as well, which is what is causing this market to hold up. Now, one observation I would like to share is on the put call ratio. So as we have seen, let me draw something here. So as you can see, last time we have got some minor dips around the 1.05 level on the 9-day PCR. Even here it went up till 1.07 and then there was a small pause. I try to show you this pause and then this pause. So as of yesterday, the number is at 1.06. So does that mean we'll get a pause here or not? So that is something we don't know yet. But of course, we can try and anticipate it based on various data available to us. So this is one important observation based on the OIPCR. Let's look at the diffusion indicators as well. So on the Nifty, there is not much changes in the diffusion indicator because stocks are holding up and the momentum is strong. But on the mid cap, where we did get some knee-jerk reaction, there we are seeing a rebound happening. So whether it's just a retracement of the fall or we get a new high, that is still something we don't know. So even in the stocks with RMI, if you see RMI by it fell from what 82 to directly 36, and it's right there. No real change there yet because momentum will take time to build up. Let's look at small cap as well. So for small cap, the number is falling even today. So yeah, so that's how you can see that clearly the momentum is in the large caps, and the small caps and mid caps are trying to show some recovery of the fall that we saw a day before yesterday. So let's go to the charts now. So daily chart, we are trading very close to the upper Bollinger Band. On the hourly, we do see some a negative divergence on the RMI. If you look like this, then there is a possible negative divergence and the price is consolidating above the 20-hour average. So if this R stays it like this, we can get a Dow Trend reversal on the hourly chart. But mind you, hourly is a very small time frame, so one can also wait for trailing levels such as key averages. So the averages are at 20,036 for the 20-hour and the 40-hour average, which is a larger trend reversal level, that is at 19,920. So still some room. Let's see. For the Bank Nifty, here also there is a small negative divergence and the hourly RMI is hinting at a new bearish crossover. So one needs to wait and see whether or not it's able to hold above its 20-hour average or there is a deeper correction. So yeah. Now let's look at various scans to see what kind of signals we are getting. Going to the Rohit scanners first. So very few new buy signals, mostly new sell signals are there. So we need to be careful and watch out if there is any existing position or investment in your stocks where you are seeing a new sell crossover, or whether you are interested in the new buy signal that you are seeing. So each and every chart can be looked into, and if anything looks interesting, that can be considered. So what I'm noticing is many of the metal stocks are having momentum today. That is why the name is popping up in new buy filter. So yeah, let's see if they're able to do some continuation on the way up or not. Let's check the Dow Trend as well. So on the Dow trend, actually down to up signals are higher than up to down. So that is interesting. Now one needs to wait and see which which sectors are actually showing it. So as of now, it looks like a mix of a sector. So stock specific approach seems to be best. As you can see, there are down to up signals coming in some metal names, some IT names, even some cement names as well. So each setup should be treated on its own, and stock specific approach looks to be the best in this kind of market. So there are a lot of scanners to help us with that. If we use any particular indicator or a moving average, you can watch out for signals here. So I do use MACD, so I'll try to look there as well. MACD, there are quite a few names giving sell crossover. So let's look at buy crossover as well. Only two names are actually there in a buy crossover. Right. So let's jump to the questions now. There is one question from Mr. Paresh, granules. Okay, so let's look at that chart. So I'm going to the Rohit setup screen on the weekly chart. So I just tried to draw a downward sloping trend line. It may not be a perfect one because here you can see there was slight throw up on the trend line, but nevertheless it is again trying to go back above the trend line. So that could be a good sign in the short term. Since this is a weekly chart, this signals will get confirmed only on the week closing, which is on Friday. So if the levels stay where they are or go further up, you will see a bullish crossover on the RMI and Dow trend reversal. On the daily chart, it is already all the confirmations are have come. So RMI was back on 28th of August, accompanied by the Dow trend, and it was able to move up the moving averages by 4th of September. So that cycle has already started. And if this trend line breakout is successful this time, it can catch momentum. Sumit Sehgal wants to look at HUL. I think somebody asked about HUL even yesterday, and I was trying to show this sort of a basing formation here. Now, let me draw some darker lines. So it looked like a triangular wedge, but it hasn't been able to give any sort of confirmation. So RMI did whipsawed into buy, but it stayed there only for one day, and today again you can see it's going back into sell. So I would like to wait for a clear breakdown or a breakout here. So breakdown level would be a closing below this line, that is 2490 broadly, and the breakout would mean closing above this trend line, that is about at 2540. Right now it looks to be compressed within this range. Breakout or a breakdown on either side would decide further direction. You can post more questions that you have on any of the tools or any charts we can discuss. Okay, I got two more stocks to look at. One is Concore. So what I'm showing right now here is, or you can use yourself as well. just go into Strike, search for the stock, and go to the setup screen. It is free to use as of now, and you've got a multi-time frame view based on the setup that we use. So let's go to start with weekly first, because that gives a top-down approach. So weekly, what I can see is last week Dow Trend changed to up, and this week RMI can go into new buy side if the prices stay where they are. Of course, because this will get confirmed on the candle close, and this candle still has 2 days to go, or no, 1 day to go. Tomorrow, if it stays here, then the signal gets confirmed. And on the daily chart, it's already above key averages, and daily indicator is in buy. So if you are looking for fresh entry, then you would want to go to even further down to hourly to look for fresh signals. But if I try to draw a line here, so this was the previous peak which it crossed, came back, and then again it's closing above it. So it is hovering around this level, which is around 715. Let's go to hourly to look. So yeah, as you can see on the hourly, you did get a positive crossover, and it is showing strength. So broadly, I would say this seems to be an important level. If it holds above this 715, it can be good. So please don't treat it as an investment or a trading advice. I'm just looking at the charts and indicators there and just sharing the observation. Next is SRF. So here also, what I can see on the weekly chart is that if I try to draw some lines here, so I do see some kind of a sideways or a triangular action in this stock on the weekly chart. However, the weekly indicator pushed into the buy side couple of weeks back. Even the Dow trend is bullish, and it is also holding above the key moving averages on the weekly chart. So weekly looks good till now. Now the only thing is whether it will be able to break out above this line or not. For that, we can go down to daily chart and see if there is anything interesting. So if we look at daily, the RMI has pushed back into new sell, but it is still, Dow trend is still bullish. The averages are also holding. So 20-day average seems to be a good level to trail onto this stock that can be used as a trailing level. There's one question, should I scan based on my stock or based on scanner by strike? How to start a day with strike? So this is the flexibility that we have given into strike. So for example, when you go into scanners, now there are so many scanners to choose from, be it you are an indicator person or a candlestick person, or you want to use the Rohit scanner or Dow Trend Scanner. Now coming to the second part of your question, whether you want to use predefined baskets or your own basket, then that is a personal choice. So what I do is, when I'm trading, I try to look for signals on indices first, let's say only indices, and one sec. Yeah, so I try to look at indices, and if I see some signals based on weekly or daily, then I try to drill down in that index, and I can have a I choose a stock from that index. For right now, if you closely see, you are getting a new buy in metal, so you can focus on metal index. That way, I like to think. And one approach is, if you are purely an FNO trader, you don't look at sectors, then you can directly select FNO basket and look for new signals on whichever time frame you want. So daily is the main time frame many people use. So you can directly filter signals on daily time frame like this. Now let's say you don't want to trade into FNO, and you are interested in your own sets of stock. and those stocks are not belonging to any particular index, then what you can do is on the home page, you can create a watch list. Multiple watch lists you can create for your interested stocks, and then on that watch list you can watch any scanner. So you can see I've created random watch list, Shivam and then cash stocks. So let's say I'm only interested in my watch list. So when I go into Rohit Scanner, here I select my own watch list. So what I'll get to see is where are all my stocks based on my watch list. So I get to see all the signals, whether it is RMI, whether it is any other scan. So let's say I am only interested in seeing in my watch list which stocks are breaking below the 20-day average. What I do is go to the technical scanners. In the simple moving average scan, I choose my watch list and I select crossing below 20 SM. So I get to know, yeah, these two stocks in my watch list are breaking their 20-day average today. That is how you can, in multiple ways, use strike scanners with your own watch lists as or as your uh, or the predefined baskets. Sanjay is asking, does it plot Elliott? No, Elliott wave is not an automated tool. One more question on a stock. Quest for holding above the weekly averages. Daily also, it is all the factors are bullish. It has given bullish crossover a few days back. So yeah, looks fine. So you can come up with more questions on any of the tools. This is a question from Priyansh. How and when do you exit a position after it enters your predefined trend? So one thing is using whichever method you are using, uh, there would be a stop loss and a target to your view, correct? So if one approach is to just exit at your target, and another approach is to keep trailing your stop loss till the trend does not reverse. So if you ask me personally what I do, I I book a part of my position and trail the rest of it till the trend reverses. So if I am trading on the combination of daily hourly chart, so let's go to a sample chart. So let's say this is a chart we are trading on, and whenever a target hits, it makes sense to book some part of the position, but the rest part should be trailed on a moving average or a trailing tool. So some people like to use averages. Even a parabolic SAR is also a very good trailing tool. So you can see whenever it breaks, that is a signal of a short trailing SL getting hit. So if you look at daily chart, so yeah, you would see when the trend gets strong, it gets tighter and tighter with the trend. So in the coming days, you will see the gap between the parabolic SAR value and the price will get smaller and smaller. So in that way, you get to trail your stop loss. It makes sense to book profits and trail part of your positions. But it is an individual approach. I can't recommend you to do any particular thing. Uh, Pivot points. Abhishek is asking what are pivot points. So these are classical Fibonacci and Camarilla supports and resistances based on uh, age-old formulas. So this uses in today's and yesterday's price to give you levels that can be used as support and resistances. So S1, S2, S3 are the support levels, and R1, R2, R3 are the resistance levels. So these you would see clicking on this, they don't plot on the chart because these are merely levels for you to use. So some people do like to trade on the pivot levels, whether they are intraday traders or you know positional traders. So based on what time frame you have selected, pivots are shown here. Even if if I like to show you an example, you can see today's R1, that is resistance one, is 46166, and today's high is 46153, which is very close to the resistance level given by the pivot. So that is how some people like to use the pivot points. And thank you, Pransh. I hope I was able to answer your question. Thank you, Abhishek. Any more questions? All right. Okay, there's one last question. Can you throw some light on Sun Pharma? Sure. Also, those of you watching on any other platform, I would recommend watching on Strike YouTube channel or within Strike, which is here, going to webinars and then join now on that stream. You can directly watch it here. So what that would do is give you the best clarity in terms of the screen clarity. So back to the question that was on Sun Pharma. Is mostly flat today. Daily RMI had gone into buy side and it has tried to move up from there. On hourly, it has consolidated and actually came back to the 40-hour average, that is at 1140. So broadly, I think 1140 should be used as a key support level for this. And if you get to see any continuation from here on, that is getting confirmation from the rest of the three things that are here in this list, then that would be a sign of continuation of uptrend. Animesh is asking on ITC. So on the daily chart, it had given a bullish cross, even Dow Trend buy, and yesterday closed above the 40-day average as well. And in today's session, it's actually having a very bearish candlestick, if you see, and it is crossing back below the 40-day average. So if I just try to connect this low, so there can be a very tight trend line here, which is also the same level as the 20-day average, which is at 445. So I think that should act as a support, and if broken, that should be given some importance. So I think 445 is a key level for the stock. And this trend line would be better visible on a smaller time frame like an hourly chart. So yeah. So this is the trend line to watch out for, which is same as the level as the 20-day average. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll wrap it up for today and we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.